What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have how India built a superpower air force in just 10 years, 1 decade. Before we dive in, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and let's get right to it.
For most superpowers, greatness came at a cost. Centuries of conquest, betrayal, and the blood of their own people. Morality was the first casualty. Alliances with tyrants, a necessary evil. In the brutal game of global power, strength always matters more than virtue. And even then, it still takes over a century to become a superpower. But then there's India. No ruthless empires, no puppet regimes. Yet somehow, in less than 10 years, India built one of the most formidable air forces on Earth. It defies logic. It breaks every rule in the superpower playbook. So how did India pull off the impossible? And why does the world still struggle to believe it? Let's find out. India fought many air battles in the skies against Pakistan. Back then, the Indian Air Force followed an Eastern-style doctrine, Soviet style, much like how Russia operates today. The problem with that doctrine was clear. The Soviets focused heavily on ground forces, while the West prioritized air power. Here's where it gets interesting.
I do believe air power is where it's at, in that, like, if you got the more dominant air force, more than likely you're gonna win. I feel like but I could be wrong, right? I don't know all the information when it comes to war. Never studied it or anything like that. It just feels like with superior air power, you have the advantage.
Pakistan's Air Force was built on NATO standards. They started with American F-86 Sabres, and their pilots were trained by the U.S., with joint exercises and training conducted alongside Iran and Turkey. But that wasn't the only advantage. During the Arab-Israeli wars, Israel managed to destroy over 900 Soviet-made aircraft. But now comes the mind-blowing part. The only Israeli jets ever shot down in dogfights by Arabs weren't actually taken down by Arab pilots, but by Pakistani volunteers flying Syrian MiG-21s. The same MiG-21 that India also relied on heavily. See where this is going? Pakistani pilots trained on both Western and Soviet aircraft. They had figured out India's capabilities inside and out. They practiced with some of the best pilots in the world. And they gained real combat experience fighting one of the most advanced air forces in the region, Israel. This gave Pakistan an edge in air warfare against India and helped them prevail in several encounters.
Dang. So back in the past, when it comes to the air, Pakistan used to have a more dominant air force than India had. That I did not know. Okay.
Until the early 2000s, the Indian Air Force was just an average force with limited capabilities. But India was about to do something that would not only shock the Pakistani Air Force, but stun the entire world.
When the tables.
In the early 2000s, India made a bold move that would change the fate of its Air Force forever. They signed a major contract with Russia to co-develop a multi-role fighter jet. The goal? Build something as powerful as the American F-50E based on the Russian Flanker series. The result was the Su-30 MKI, a powerful multi-role aircraft, custom built for India. But here's the twist. It wasn't the fighter jet itself that transformed India's Air Force. In fact, quite the opposite. India entered the deal hoping to gain self-reliance, expecting the contract would give them the capability to fully produce modern fighter jets at home. But instead, they got stabbed in the back. Why? Because Russia used India's money to develop a next-gen jet that finally matched the F-50E in performance. And yet, when India tried to produce the jet domestically, something shocking happened.
What?
The cost of each Indian-built Su-30 MKI was more expensive than buying it directly from Russia. Let that sink in.
What?
Who does that to an ally? Well, the US did something similar with Japan during the Mitsubishi F2 program. So maybe India shouldn't have been surprised.
That's literally insane, dog. Like, they made it more expensive for India to build it themselves, to where they had to rely on Russia, because if it's cheaper to just buy it from you already built than to act For now, it's going to be more expensive, and I have to build it myself. It doesn't make sense to build it yourself, but you can buy it already built, uh, especially for a cheaper price. So, dang, yeah, Russia was definitely dirty for that one.
But this moment marked a turning point. Across India's entire defense establishment, one thought echoed loud and clear: we should build everything in India. And that single decision would go on to reshape the global defense market. But what about the Indian Air Force itself? How strong is it really? That's where things get even more interesting. If you're enjoying the content, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. We've also started posting short videos on our Telegram channel, so you can easily share them with friends who have a short attention span. You'll find the link in the pinned comment. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can now send a few stars on Telegram to help keep us going and support what we do. Thank you so much. And now let's get back to the video.
To birth.
What's the most important factor in building?
I do agree with him. I feel like when India decided to start building everything in India, that takes out the reliance aspect of having to rely on allies, having to rely on anyone, right? And so when things go bad or situations take a turn, you aren't relying on other countries to come in and help you. I mean, of course, right? Allies, partnerships, you have those in place, so you want them. But like, if y'all don't come help, we cool. Like, we're not. We know how to build weapons. We're good. And I think what's great is once India like self sustained, like they built everything themselves. I feel like they're really gonna hit. They're already exporting defense weapons, but I feel like it's just gonna be on another level.
A powerful military. Most people would say money. And sure, that's partly true. But money is only 10% of the full picture. If it were everything, then Saudi Arabia would be ruling the world by now. There are 29 Arab states with massive armies and budgets, yet many still fear a tiny country like Israel. So no, money isn't everything. The real answer? Brains. Yes, we all have one, but very few know how to use it. India, however, has been using it for millennia. Around 2010, India launched a full-scale effort to build a self-reliant defense industry. Unlike Russia, India had the economic firepower to back it up. One of the best examples? The Astra missile. Its latest version has a range of 340 kilometers, surpassing even China's PL-15, which is used by the Pakistani Air Force. But range isn't the only factor. The Astra is equipped with the most advanced seeker system in the world. If it loses lock due to jamming or terrain, it can reacquire its target and still destroy it. The PL-15? Not so much. In fact, during recent clashes, Indian forces found fully intact PL-15 missiles lying on the ground, missiles that had failed to explode. And let's be honest, if a missile can't explode, it's not a weapon.
No,
It's a very expensive stick. But India's rise doesn't stop at missiles. Today, India produces most of its weapons domestically, and many of them are world-class. Take the Tejas fighter jet. It's not only a highly advanced light fighter, it's also a superb training platform that can prepare pilots for even fifth-generation aircraft. It might just be the most advanced light fighter in the world. Then there's the AMCA, India's upcoming fifth-generation stealth fighter. If it succeeds, it could change the global arms market forever. Want to know how? Check the video in the description. And India's Air Force isn't just about homegrown jets. It operates a diverse fleet, including the French Rafale, which is hard for adversaries to track or counter due to NATO protocols. Backed by a strong OAX network and a reliable aerial refueling fleet, India has eyes across the entire battlefield. Add to that one of the most advanced electronic warfare divisions in Asia, capable of jamming enemy fighters and blinding rival radar systems, and you begin to see the full picture. But the real ace up India's sleeve? Experience. Remember what we said about the Pakistan?
completely experience. I think is definitely going to be the biggest one. Just because I feel like India's been in those fights with Pakistan and been in fights with China, and they've been through situations, so that experience is absolutely going to be helpful.
Pakistani Air Force, how they gained the upper hand through experience, knowledge, and high-level training. Now, India is doing the same. Indian pilots are among the best in the world. They regularly train with NATO countries, including the United States, France, and even Israel, who use the same F-16s as Pakistan. So today, India no longer sees Pakistan as a serious challenge. Instead, it's preparing for the real test, China.
Yeah.
And that's why India has climbed to 4th place in global air power rankings, thanks to its massive logistics, elite pilots, and homegrown technology. It proves one thing. If you think smart, you can achieve in 10 years what others can't in a century. I have some news. We finally monetized this channel, and we've hit 20,000 subscribers, all thanks to your amazing support. You guys are awesome. I honestly didn't want to monetize it at first because I wanted the videos to stay ad-free so you could watch them without any annoying interruptions. But since YouTube started putting ads on the channel without my permission, I decided it was better to monetize it myself.
Yeah.
That way, at least the earnings can help support the channel. Thanks again for being
part. Well, if YouTube gonna do it anyway, yeah, you may as well make money from it. But dang, y'all talk to me in the comment section. What do you think of this video? It's insane to see the Air Force grow into a superpower in 10 years, becoming the 4th strongest Air Force in the world. I assume behind the U.S., Russia, and China. And then you figure they're starting to make all of their weapons and everything in India, and soon it will all be made in India. And yeah, depending on the success of these jets and future weapons that they make, that could definitely shift the power in the world. Just because I feel like they probably make it for a cheaper price tag than most Western countries with the same, if not better, quality. But that's all we had. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all on the next one.